Hey guys, it's your girl Key Davis back here with another video. So before we get into this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Ow. Yes, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to your girl's channel and don't forget to hit that post notification button to see any and every time your girl posts a video, okay? So without further ado, we're going to get into this video. So this video is going to be me doing my laundry. And of course, a little story time for y'all. You feel me? I just feel like it's only right for me to do a little story time. So we're going to do story time while I'm putting up my laundry. So let's get started with the laundry portion. So this is one of my dresses. I got to hang it up. And while I'm hanging that up, I'm going to put it in my closet here. I'm sorry you can't see me, but I'll be right back. I ain't went far. Just around the door. So, my story. Forgot. My story. My story today is going to be about why I moved to Missouri. I'm currently in Georgia, of course, but I want to tell y'all why I had moved to Missouri while I'm doing my laundry. Excuse me, I have to get low because I'm recording with my camera. My cell phone, sorry. So, I moved to Missouri because a number of reasons. One, my living situation wasn't like the best. Not saying that I'm not grateful for as much as what my grandma had done for me and my siblings. It just wasn't all the way there for me. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is because I've always wanted to stay with my dad. And I got that opportunity, learned some life lessons. I never got pregnant, you know what I'm saying, as far as like being raised by my father. I waited till way good and well after I moved out the house, been a several years. So your girl wasn't bringing home no babies at an early age, and I'm not, throwing shade to none of the women who have had kids at a young age. Do what's best for you, boo. Okay. So it started with my dad and my boyfriend at the time. His dad. They were talking, and his dad was telling my dad about a job there in Detroit, Michigan. At the time, well, when my dad had applied, they were going through the transition of like getting him interviewed and set up or whatever. He went to the interview. They said, they wanted to do some orientation. I don't know what exactly happened. All I know is that place closed down and they relocated in Missouri. So when my boyfriend at the time father had reached back out to my dad, he let him know, like, hey, it's not here in Detroit no more. We gotta go to Missouri if you really, want the job. So I'm assuming my dad was like, yeah, he wanted the job. So my dad left me and my siblings for about 2 months, and all that time, or during that time, my dad ended up buying my sister a cell phone for us to share so that way we can keep in contact with him and to know when he was coming back, to figure out how we was going to work out us leaving with him. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the day that my dad came back to come and get us. He had a conversation with my grandma, and my grandma said she was cool with it. She was just going to handle everything else in court, and it was okay for us to go with him. And by law, I believe at that time, my grandmother had adopted me and my siblings from my mother. And so, of course, we had to go through the court situation because of the simple fact she had legal guardianship. I'm not going to say she adopted us. She had legal guardianship of us. She had adopted my brother. So we couldn't take our brother. But me and my baby sister had left, and we moved to Missouri with my dad. When it came time for us to try to get enrolled in school in Missouri, my dad had kind of found out that there was a police report stating that he had kidnapped, me and my sister, and like the schools was not giving out our school records so that way we could give it to the school in Missouri so that way they can have our information and up to date. And we couldn't even get our immunization shots, none of that. Fast forward a little bit because I don't want this video to be too long. Eventually, I got in contact with my grandma. We talked it out. I talked to my older sister because she thought that my dad had kidnapped us too, which was not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is settled for that much of that time or that story there. But fast forward, like I said, I ended up putting myself through homeschool. And my baby sister tried to do the same thing. She didn't keep up with hers, but I did keep up with mine. And of course, my dad kind of chewed me out for not like helping her out, like me being an older sister. I should be there for my sister when it comes to like helping her with school and stuff like that. I did not do that. I was focused on myself, and really, I was becoming more into my teenage years where I just wanted to do stuff on my own and transition to, like I said, just I guess trying to be grown too fast. I just put it that way. So I got my high school diploma, and I rocked with that. I had got my first job at a warehouse making gas caps, Microsoft cartridges, or I'm sorry, Microsoft cases, and some type of cartridges. I'm not sure if they were like for printing or whatever. I'm not really sure, but I made all these different things because they always had me on different machines because I was so good at it. And I was pretty fast, and I kept my area clean. So that was good. I worked at that company. It was called Jarden Plastic Solutions. I worked there for like, I want to say 4 months, maybe 3, one of the two. I end up getting laid off because I was still a temp service. So I believe they tried to call me back, but at that time we had this home landline that it was acting up. So anytime that we would get phone calls, it would be real staticky. You couldn't hear nothing, or sometimes it would just have like this annoying sound. So if you called, we wouldn't know. Sometimes our phone wouldn't ring. So it was just a whole bunch of chaoticness at that time. So I ended up having a good friend. She was a lot younger than me. Her name is Jennifer. We call her Jenny for short. Her and her mom worked at McDonald's. So her mom had asked me about, like, working. And I was like, yeah, I want a job. And of course, when I was a kid, me and my best friend Sade, we used to go to McDonald's all the time. Get us a McChicken, a small fry, and a caramel sundae. That was our go-to every day or every other day. As long as we had money. And it got to the point we started making money, doing car washes, all type of different things just to make money so we can get those 3 items from McDonald's. And back then, everything was $1 then, so we only had to spend $3 a piece, so like $6 and some change, like almost $7, It was nothing until we just started getting like those fresh 10-piece nuggets. Oh man, it was lit. But anyways, so I started working at McDonald's, and that was my thing. I was like, man, I wanted to work at McDonald's, when I was young. So when her mom offered me the opportunity to work there, I went on ahead and put in my application. She was like, go online and do it, and my my store manager will be able to find your application a lot faster versus me trying to go up to the store, getting a paper application, and then them having to find time to go through the paper applications. I want to tell you, I put that application in that one day. The next day, her mom came home and was like, I got some work shirts for you. And then that next following day, I had my interview, and they had told me I wasn't going to start until that next following week. Girl, when my friend mama came home, she said, you start tomorrow, honey. It was a wrap. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at that McDonald's for 3 years? Yeah, I worked at McDonald's for about 3 years. And then I got fired for something that was not my fault. That video is going to be, that story is going to be for another video. But I got fired. And then I was devastated because at that time I had moved out on my own. I had my own apartment. I had my own bills. And I was like, man, like, rent is due next month. I have no more money coming in, so I had to borrow money from my dad just so I could pay the next month's rent, trying to hope that I could, get another job so that way I didn't have to move back home. But honey, let me tell you, I made some bad decisions. I had a boyfriend, I had a roommate. They found out that my roommate was living there, and then my boyfriend was living there, so they tried to charge me extra fine. So eventually I got evicted, so I had to move back home. Life lessons. I'm trying to tell you, I was young, didn't know no better, but I moved back home, and I stayed there for a while, and then I got another job. That's what it was. Matter of fact, it was like a month later after I got evicted. Yeah, so I got a job, started working there, started hanging out with the people I work with, which they were cool. There wasn't bad influences or anything like that. They were really nice people. It was actually a guy, you know what I'm saying, and a couple of girls, but the guy was more interested in me than them. So what can I say? But I don't know, I just started like experimenting with Missouri. Like, they were peaceful, laid back, you know, not really too much drama unless you knew too many people or stuff like that. But it was nice while it lasted. I ended up dating the guy who was interested in me. I dated him for about 6 years. And then we broke up just because of him being dumb and just changing his whole lifestyle. That was not it for me. Just not it for me. And then eventually I moved back home. But in between that, before the breakup, me and the guy, we lived together for 6 years. We had a 3-bedroom house, 2 bath, 2-car garage, a shed, and a fenced backyard. Well, we ended up going homeless at a point in time in between that, and then I moved back home. And then while I was moving back home with my dad and my baby sister, me and him broke up because I had to focus on me, because he was only going down a terrible path that I didn't want to go or continue to go down myself. And I was losing myself, and I didn't have no sense of direction, so I had to start back over at square one. Thankfully, my dad and sister opened their home up to me again so I could get back on my feet, which I did. I ended up going back to McDonald's and finding another job. As far as going back to McDonald's, it was a different location, but one of the managers that I used to work with at the first McDonald's, she ended up being at this other store, and she was like, yeah, you can come and work here. I didn't even have a real interview, y'all. I went in, she said, what time you want to work? What days you want to work? What day you want off? Okay, can you start tomorrow? No, it wasn't even like a start tomorrow. She was like, can you work this Sunday for me? Because it was the Sunday that she worked. And I'm like, sure. It was a breeze. So I worked back there for a little bit. I tried to find myself, which I eventually did. And then I had met my husband, which I had met him before he was my husband. Like, I met him while I was homeless. I ran into his mom because me and her used to work together, because that's like in between of the breakup and being the guy. I had another job, but I was homeless, and I had met my current husband, or my husband now, his mother. So we were just friends then, but eventually me and him started dating, and that is going to be another story for y'all as far as why I'm in Georgia. But we started dating, and then I became pregnant. He proposed. I had the baby. We moved to Georgia. Then we moved back to Missouri. And then, okay, let me go back. We moved to Georgia, and then we got married. And then we moved back to Missouri. And then we moved back to Georgia. But that story for moving to Georgia will be in the next video. Sorry I didn't do a lot of laundry or fold a lot of laundry. I just wanted to get y'all this story, and I wanted to get this video out because I know I've been telling y'all I'm going to be on my P's and Q's with these posting my videos Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sorry this video was late because, you know, when you got to upload these videos, they sometimes take a day or two, just depending on how long the videos is. And I didn't want to make this video too long, but fortunately I did. So this is going to take forever to upload. I'm so sorry, guys, but I am going to go ahead and upload the next story time video, which is my move to Georgia, tonight after I post this one. Sorry, guys, but that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Now, if you want to know any like in between stories, make a comment below so your girl can know. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.